mañana, 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 mañana is good enough for me. Mañana, 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 mañana is good enough for me. All right. So, no, but I knit a little. That's what my dad used to say when he did. Boys, go do this or that, or this, that, and the third. Like, so? He like, no, but I knit a little. Now go do what the hell I told you to do. So, guys, hit the thumbs up button on the way in. As you fall in, hit that there thumbs up button. You understand me? You can even hit that thumbs up down, the thumb down button. That affects the algorithm as well. I mean to tell you. So I want to start off with some abduction education. A lot of people are doing this, and in fact, the internet makes it a trend, right? And the fact that it's been made a trend, that becomes troubling. So I'm going to go ahead and let me just pull up. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to, because sometimes when it's coming from websites like this, this tab is usually your microphone. So tell me in the chat if you guys can hear this, please. Can you guys hear that? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear that ad there. Put a 1 in the chat. Yes, Jennifer says yes. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, beautiful. Hello, Ghost. Hello, Jennifer Johnson. Honest Rage. Denise, Brandy, Carla, Casey. Hello, beautiful. 1. Okay. Guys, this right here, this is some of you, I'm sure a lot of you in here, most of you probably in here, you've been made aware of this dynamic. Hey, Melissa, thanks for joining us this morning. I like to sneak in, like these guys, they all like to measure genitalias. Oh, look how many people I had in my chat. Well, that's fine. Look at the messengers Friday. Lizzie, Deborah, the mom 23. Woo! All right, so this is a really good critical thinking topic for this part of our get together here, guys. So watch this, and I hope we'll discuss it after it plays. Okay. Thank you, Honest. Jordy girl.
Hit pause before you post. That's a message from law enforcement tonight, because you could be giving criminals the keys to commit crimes against your family.
They were sharing a lot of personal information on their posts. They create these cardboard things and colorful, and they were saying a lot of information that we felt was not safe to be posted out onto the internet.
You've probably seen the post, or you may have put one up of your child. Law enforcement officers saw
that's very descriptive
in their social media feeds, and
that's like, here I am, come get me.
People are seeing this and they may think it's cute, but when law enforcement sees it, you see red flags.
We did.
So, guys, if you caught my video yesterday right around lunchtime, I did, or no, actually, it was yesterday morning about this time rather. Did a video about how to educate children and the things that we lie to our children about, right? So we have, let's look it up real quick so that I don't actually misquote it again. Children are abducted each year. Oh, shoot. 50,000. 50,000. So, actually, I've been misquoting that. So, only about 100 cases per year can be classified as abductions by strangers. 50,000 missing, right? So, what we're doing right here is, and guys, this is abduction panic, right? Only what are the chances? What is it? I think there's 50 million, something in that neighborhood, children in America. Don't quote me, please, AB. So you have this population of children in America, and 0.001% go missing due to a stranger abduction. Now, let's bring this into perspective on what the real issue is here that they're not saying. The real issue is that when you have a domestic issue, and we know by listening to law enforcement that domestic violence calls or domestic calls are some of the most dangerous calls that they can go to, because you have men typically, and when I say men, I mean man as in all people on earth, man and women. We kill typically over one of two things: love or money, right? So you see that in the famicide and all that other stuff. So what actually is going on here is that this gentleman, Officer Creighton, and the news in McHenry County, what they're actually saying right here is, if you have a domestic issue, right, because there are a plethora more domestic issues going on than there are stranger abductions, people. Hoo-ah. So what Mr. Creighton is actually saying is that we have so many domestic issues in America that you ought not put your child's information out there like that, because there could be a parent who has I don't know, maybe lost their parental rights, is a fugitive. You have all these different scenarios that makes another parent unfit to be around a child. So the court will help them, in a sense, go underground and then protect them from the parent that's estranged, right? So you guys use your thinking caps when we're looking at this stuff, because what this does is it's lying to you. It's telling you, don't take these, because some random person could make your child the one out of 100 that go missing every year due to stranger abduction. Okay? This is real shit, guys. So, hippie girl, someone who knows the child is going to fall under a familial abduction. It's a domestic issue, right? So if your friend comes over to your house and you guys get into a tussle, there's those charges could look differently. They could look like battery, they could look like simple assault, or they could look like a domestic issue. Those types of scenarios would fall under, or at least you can see by the stats, they don't categorize those types of abductions as stranger abductions, or else we'd have tons of them, right? So Yeah, guys, that's this, right? And I'll let it play.
Information like your child's teacher, their best friends, or favorite color can be used to get access to your child. And be careful including your address in the picture. Also, a no-no. So in an effort to protect your kids, Deputy Creighton, who's a school resource officer for the McHenry County Sheriff's Office in Illinois, posted his own first day of school picture showing what should and shouldn't be shared. It's now been shared more than 44,000 times, making its way to our local law enforcement's Facebook page.
What is safe to share?
The photo in general. They don't have to put the name. Their friends and family will know who Johnny is. They don't need to put all the personal information. We constantly tell the kids in school, you think before you share. Adults need to do the same thing.
The GRPD and other law enforcement agencies say they don't have any hard numbers on how often this information is used in crimes, but tell us that it's more common than people think, saying that the information can be used in everything from fraud to identity theft and child exploitation. Reporting in the newsroom, Heather Walker, News 8.
Now, I didn't really like the way that lady
for yourself
that
and
lady
others by donating plasma.
that lady spun the end of that, you know, that your child could be used for exploitation. So, you know, yes, your child's picture could be taken from the web and then manipulated in a way. They have these deep fake sites where you can essentially, what I've heard is you could take certain types of video materials and you can run them into this software, and then you can just take a picture from anywhere and you also enter that into the software and it meshes them in a way. That's how you see these you know, these videos that look real, like of President Obama talking about crazy stuff, and it's not actually him, right? Even the software even has a model of his voice so that you can talk into it and then it will retort, you know, it'll reply with your words but his voice. So yes, your child can be it can be exploited in that way, and you do have to be careful. But again, guys, this is in real time where you can see that even law enforcement and schools and the news, they're going to I don't want to say that they're flat out lying. I think what it is they're also cultured. They've been cultured. Those people that were involved in that production, that news segment, they're all of the same age, you know, the 70s, 80s babies. And so that's when there was a real abduction panic. I mean, you know, it was really going on. So you had, you know, the Walshes with America's Most Wanted. John Walsh, he lost a son, and then the recovery was just, it was atrocious, you know? So that really kind of brought missing kids to the forefront, you know, and we see them all the time. The advertisements for missing kids, but we're conditioned in a way that we've seen them. Have you ever went through the line at Walmart? Sometimes on the back wall, right there as you're checking out, where the bagger is, right behind that bagger, a lot of times they'll have pictures of missing kids. And those pictures are there for you to stop and look at them. Okay. If they're not there, then sometimes they'll be on the way out of the door, right there on the wall. Stop and look at those things, right? Another thing that I think that you can, I'm just a little bit upset about it. Let me tell you what happened. So I was around somebody here very recently in the last 4 days, and we had an Amber Alert. And of course, my phone, you know, when I hear an Amber Alert, it's like I got a grenade in my pocket. I'm trying to get out, right? And so I'm struggling to get the phone out of the pocket, and I pick it up. And then I realized I'm only hearing one Amber Alert, and there's two of us standing here. And so I'm looking at it and I'm reading it, and I'm seeing that I think it was Louisiana, but it hit the Texas system. As a preventative measure, a lot of times in Texas, we'll get them from neighboring states because, you know, Texas is where everybody goes to break the law, right? The Wild Wild West. So I'm looking at this guy, and I'm fond of him. He's, you know, I thought he was a really great guy. And I said, "You didn't get the Amber Alert?" And he said, "Oh man, those things are annoying. I turned them off." And I looked at him and I was like, "You mean you can actually turn the Amber Alerts off?" And he was like, "Yeah. You want me to show you how?" I was like, "Why would I want to turn the fucking Amber Alert off?" I'm looking at him. I was like, "Why would I want to turn that off, dude?" I started to get pissed. And you know what? I haven't looked at him the same. I mean, I was like, I even made up a lie. I was like, my fucking vein in my neck is sticking out. I want to grab somebody by the fucking beard and pound a flat spot on their forehead. I'm like, bro, I got to go do some dishes before I fucking wig out. Because if you got it in you to be my friend, but you got your fucking Amber Alerts turned off, fuck you mean. If you know somebody that turns their fucking Amber Alerts off, beware of that person. In fact, if they turn Amber Alerts off, you might even see a connection between them turning Amber Alerts off and the way they treat their own children. Fuck you mean. I'm tired of the fucking liars. I'm tired of the fucking propaganda. And all of it is aimed to help America and parents in authoritative positions lie to children. So they grow up and they lie to their children. And then at some point, these generations overlap and you've got grandparents that are lying to their grandchildren. Fuck. I want to cover something else. It's fucking bullshit. There's so many idiots in America. You're looking at shit, and because it's flat on a screen and you can't see the dimensional world around it in real life, we lose the message. 100 kids a year go missing. Why the fuck are we so scared to put our children with their pictures in take a picture of a grand moment? Your kid's going to school, first day, and you can't put the name of the school and all the information on it. Why? Not because 100 kids go missing a year by 100 different weirdos. No, it's because 50,000 kids go missing on account of their own family. But they lie. They lie. They don't want to say 20 times out of 10, you're going to fucking be abducted by your own family. They don't want to say that. So they got to do all the other stuff, right? Yes, ma'am, love. Now, really having a hard time with the EVPs today, guys. Really having a hard time. I'm sure she is a lovely lady, okay? I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I am at my wits fucking end with these people. I am seriously at my wits end. Okay. What I want to talk about real quick is this fucking celestial stuff. Okay. Let me tell you this. They did a study in Australia. They had all these fucking people come here. It was a crime con deal. And they came. And when they came, they tested the people who said they were psychics. Did a big study. And out of all these fucking different participants, only 2 people exhibited clairvoyant characteristics. Now, let me tell you about their testimony. I don't know anything about American certified psychics, right? Whatever. Okay. So these 2 people in Australia, only 2 people in Australia have been certified by some sort of organization as legitimate clairvoyant. I think when you say psychic, it diminishes the capacity and the work that clairvoyancy has actually done, right? So let me tell you this. Have you ever met a schizophrenic that either medicine is not effective for them or they don't take their medicine? Do they look like they're enjoying life? Look at her face. These 2 psychics who are verified. Now, what that means when there's only 2 psychics in all of Australia is mean that if you ever see an Australian psychic channel, it's fake because there's only 2 that meet the fucking meat. You think all fat meat ain't greasy? I'm gonna show you. Look. These 2 people, what happens to them is that their life is a living hell. These 2 real psychics, they're documented actually doing work with law enforcement and the federal government in Australia. Their life is fucking miserable. They are attacked by the victims of crimes and the things that they're channeling at the moment. It is not a happy place. They do not fucking smile like this. They do not go on TV and have a great fucking time and probably, quite honestly, could give a shit about stars on the fucking apple pie. Their life is a curse. Go see about it. That would be like saying that everyone who has cancer is having a great fucking life. There are a few that can manifest something very positive out of such a death sentence. But psychics, real ones, the 2 actual verified ones in Australia that have been documented and we can see, wish they did not have this affliction. Okay? So all of this shit is shit, right? So I had a comment by this is sorcery, mind you. This is a fucking abomination. This is a fucking abomination. So for you to start thanking God for this stuff and for you to start trying to channel things through sorcery, but then give the glory to God, this is not the glory God. My God doesn't want this glory. Okay? So, what the issue here is that these cases are based on fucking science, right? Especially when you get to so you in the beginning, you are using word of mouth and you're using what you can dictate and take away from the scene, the things that you can see, the things you hear, you mix them together and you see what sticks, right? None of this shit has any science in it other than the scientists or the app builders, the computer science that went into making these EVP apps. Now, let me tell you how it is a fallacy. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I'm not gonna play with this thing no more because I think that some sort of way I fuel some fuckery when I play with this fucking thing. Okay, now this thing has frequency buttons and shit on it, right? Let me tell you what happened the other day when I turned it on. I turned it on and I was just talking not to the thing because that'd be fucking stupid, right? So I'm just talking in the room with this thing and I'm paying, I have a different kind of mind. So I'm listening to this thing and it sounds like Run DMC back in the day. Once was a guy from Hollis, Queens. Like that's what it sounds like, right? So I'm listening to it as I talk, and then I hear a syllable. It's like the middle of a word. Once you know what the fuck a syllable is, I hear a syllable in my own fucking key of voice. And I thought, well, that was interesting. So I kept on talking, but at the same time, I'm tuned into this fucking box. And then I hear another that's got my tone, and it's the middle of one of my words. That's fucking strange. I immediately was like, but then I kept hearing it. It would be in the middle of stuff. And what it was, is it was on, it started to hit me because I do music. It started to hit me like music. I was like, this is on a rhythm. So what I was hearing was that while I talked, this thing would say a syllable of the middle of one of my words, and it would put it at the same delay all the time. So it was stacking, right? It was like you say something and then it pops up 7 seconds later. Well, then it was always 7 seconds, right? Now, what's fucking batty about this thing is that these frequency buttons, right? So when I opened it up, I didn't hit any buttons. It's got speed buttons. It's got all this different shit. So then I realized I was like, cool, because I do music, and this looks like a plugin. So I'm not going to go deep into it, but when you're an audio guy and you're using, say, Pro Tools, right? You'll click on this in order to move the dials to make the output, what the music you hear, to put some sort of effect or, something on it, to put a treatment on it. Well, so what I realized was that I was hearing my voice or a section of my own voice because I hadn't played with any of these buttons, right? So then when you start hitting buttons and randomly, I'm sure they know that these people know what frequencies sound like a child, what frequencies sound like a woman, what frequencies sound like an older, like you can literally change the frequency of the audio to make it sound like a child. I don't know. So this is a massive case about Summer Wells. Okay. This lady, she said yesterday that she was sure. Hold on, where's it going? She erased it. Yeah, guys. If you look at my EVP video from yesterday, she had all types of shit about Summer here. It is all gone now. It is all gone. She hasn't blocked me because, guys, when you've been blocked as a creator, you can't see any of the community stuff. It'll say no community posts, right? So she has went in and deleted all of the stuff that I addressed yesterday. Now, what I'll tell you is that it is an oxymoron for her to say, let's try, or where did I see that? Some shit about editing, right? Where's the photo of the fucking cop car? Hold on, guys. Where's the fucking photo of the cop car? Where is it? Where the fuck is it? It's not even here. Where is, I mean, she had a picture of a cop car and it said that she had been working with the cops. She was getting out. I mean, she had another one that said she was getting hourly updates. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God, guys, the session I did weeks ago, Suzanne told me she had an affair. Well, guess fucking what? A few weeks ago is when we all found out Miss Morphew had an affair. You fucking people come on here after amount of time and look at this shit. 69 people believe that. Hold on. Look at some of this other shit. 223, 201, 175, 69. They're not fucking with it. They're fucking with the parts, but when it comes to you putting in your opinion, that part they're not fucking with, right? Like, so I'm sick about it, guys. I actually am sick about this shit. There's nothing. Now, I want to show you guys this. This is a fucking thing now, right? This is actually a thing. Isn't that grand? Look how they put them in between the two guys, like each of them have a handcuffed to him, you know. This is all bullshit right here, what you're seeing, right? Because let me tell you about Mr. Morphew's situation. There are things coming out. He's in his prelim right now. Today, I think that it'll be the 4th day of the prelim today. This isn't going to be about him. But this is the perfect time for Chris to really fuck this case up. For those that don't know, Chris essentially stalked Barry Morphew while he was free. He had a hand in all of this. What's really interesting is they don't have a body. Now, there's been ample enough convictions with no body. I mean, look at him. He's sitting in jail. But what he's sitting in jail, it's circumstantial, guys. You know, we've heard that he throwing a bunch of trash away. He had some, what did he have? He had a tranquilizer gun that was inoperable. He had some tranquilizer vessel darts. And there was a live round of ammunition on the floor at the bed. But guess what? They don't have a body, right? They don't have any forensics that say that she was hurt here or she was hurt there, right? So this guy right now is just over there fucking up justice for Suzanne's family and children right now, right? Don't be surprised. Now, is Morphew going to beat it right here out the gate? I feel like he'll probably take the ride. But he's got money, right? He'll put together some resources. Look at what's his name? Scott Peterson. Man, you play around with some shit, and next thing you know, these guys make it home on an appeal. Real shit. So, what I'm gonna do is my wife is like, don't. I'm not gonna do it like that. My wife's like, don't have your screen up while you're looking for stuff, right? So okay, another thing that I do want to mention, this is the other thing I wanted to do. Shouts out to Stan, guys. We have a guy, his name is Stan. He's a young man. And he's a young man. He's 11. Young Stan, as you guys know, this is really, it's pretty cool. I want to give this to you guys. Anyway, Stan is 11. And Stan, he's from New Zealand. And God put us all together. And thanks to Wildflower, she certainly has a hand in it. So young Stan is being assessed by Aussie. So we're putting together the Discord and we're putting bots in there. What bots are, guys, is just kind of like counter surveillance software that you add to the server, and you can tell it to do what you want it to do, and it'll do it. Right? That's what Chris means by harvesting. Like, we don't have a bot for that. We just have a bot for people that there's a particular set of characteristics that come with certain kind of trolling behavior. And so these bots are trained or programmed to pick these out, right? So let me tell you, Aussie is a beautiful mind. She writes script and code and all of that. She's got her hands in, a lot of architecture for script. So we come in contact with young Stan, and Stan is a tech wizard. Stan is currently right now creating the environment in Discord. So I'm told Stan knows as much about Discord as the creator. I'm told Stan can essentially create bots and do different things in Discord that you probably didn't even know was possible. Maybe even the people that created it don't know it's possible. So shouts out to Stan from New Zealand. His people let him listen to our critical thinking, but not the stuff where Benny is a little bit ranty. Shouts out to Stan. And Stan, I hope that you can be part of our team, and that you find what you're looking for, sir. It's very, very. I'm very humbled at this point to see how all the resources are coming together, and God is staffing the blessings. Right? It's one thing to have blessings, but then you might have too much. Like, remember, they say, be careful what you ask for. Right? So don't ask for a garden so big you can't staff it. Right? So God has blessed us, and He's staffing those blessings. So that is a real beautiful thing. Now I want to show you this. This was a thing that's popped up. The lovely share. So there's two things, in fact. Mark was called out for he wasn't called out for anything. People were accusing Mark of creating a fundraiser where guys shaved their beards to raise money for Churchill Rescue, which is in the area down there in Tennessee. Now, what people didn't understand is the methodology of payment through YouTube. The way that works is when it's like working a job. You work this week or this month and get paid for it next month, right? So now you can see right here, giantly, he's sending the check off. So that is another corroboration that Prairie Boy and Mark and Cher, they do what the fuck they say they're going to do. Now, shouts out to Cam and Allie and Cam. Cracking Cases is their channel. It has just exploded for them, and we are just, I'm stoked, because this is just, this guy, here I was last week giving him, tips and pointers on different things, and here he is about to pass up. If we're worried about numbers, he's about to pass up the numbers here. And so ain't no hater in me. I feel like it's fucking awesome. Like, we were on a live, and Cher, she reached out to all her people and put it in their heart. And I think it was in, like, I don't even know, like, in no time, there was like 400 subscribers. So that's a thing. The other thing is that Guys, I assure you that as you're surfing around doing what we're doing right now, that you are going to eventually at some point run into trollery. I'm sure you all have. Now, this specific type of trollery just isn't. It's not. It's beyond the pale of comparison of anything human. Yesterday there was a little a tense moment in the day where um, a lot of people were contacting me. A lot of people were contacting Cher and Mark and Cam and saying that Don was commenting in YouTube comments. And so I'm here to tell you, I immediately got on, got in contact with my folks, and so this is from Don. Um, he's saying that he hasn't been commenting on hardly anything and never commented on YouTube. I only recently got on Facebook to talk and find my daughter. Someone has made a fake me. Um, and you can just, you can just go down through there and see it all, right? Um, you know, it's just the way the internet works, guys. It's just the way the internet works. We can't do anything about that. We just can't. Right here. Sorry, I didn't know I didn't have my screen share. Um, yeah. So that's the thing, you know. Um, Now, moving on to Mountain Girl. I don't want to stay here very long. Okay, so it's still gone. Oh, sweet, look at there. Stop Benjamin Lindsay from cyberbullying other content creators for having different opinions than him. Dude, you're a feminine wash product. Keep it pushing. Don't get it twisted, because it's hard to unfucking twist. I don't know. This shit is just getting out of control. What I want to do is I want to give a shout out to that's silly. Chip. I don't know who. I just know that person's name. They are like the female version of Assad or something. I don't know. Like, she is a bad mamma jamma. And I don't know. I don't want to make a bad comparison if I mean like some sort of anti-terrorist group like this lady. She is opinionated than a motherfucker, but anti that's anti in the States. We that doesn't look right. That's like Summer Wells to against her aunt. That's the way we interpret that over here. So I don't know if that's on purpose or whatever. But yeah, see, that's this right here is like part of the interpretation issue, right? Like when I look at that, I don't immediately just pop on there and see what she's saying. I look at the whole packaging, right? Um, so this is exactly the way that things become misinformed, misaligned, and misconstrued. Um, you know what I am going to do though? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm just tired of them using my damn name, man. Fucking dickhead. You're a fucking dickhead. Better be lucky you live in fucking Canada. Because I kick the soda can shit out of you, boy. I kick the soda can shit right out of you, boy. Fuck you mean. In his description, this man has me fearful for my life. Look at his history. He's bullying me. Please help. Stop threatening me, because I'm already scared. Fuck you, me, way. So, that's about a wrap, guys. Let me just ask this: has an EVP ever been subpoenaed? It's a subpoena. Subpoenaed. There you go. Fuck no, it hasn't. Or it'd pop right up. Oh, I chinga. Anyways, guys, that's about all I have for right now. You know, the other thing that I want to touch on, speak on, not touch on, speak on. Someone will twist that around like, oh, he's using molester type verbiage. So, what I want to touch on is I want to touch on the problem with talking about other dynamics, and I'm not really sure. I'm going to wrestle it all in and create a segment for everyone, and it'll probably be interactive. But I'm going to create a segment where we can all come on and we can talk about the thing that's our red flag, right? Everyone always says, well, my thing is this. Well, everyone's thing that they're stuck on is different than the next person. So I want to find out what are all the things that people have issues with. And I want to create a live stream. And listen, I don't care about what you look like, what your feet smell like, what your wallpaper color is. Like, if you don't want to be seen, turn your camera off. But if you've got questions and we're out here in the comments and we're tearing up each other and we're tearing up creators because we don't know the answer to our question and no one seems to, be engaging us to answer it, when you can come up, I don't know, maybe today or tomorrow, you can come up and you can ask your question. You can have your voice heard. I want to. Because I feel like when you start addressing the things that you see in the community that are problems, and what is a huge problem right now is the commenters. The people that aren't subscribed to any, now don't get me wrong. There are going to be a lot of people that are subscribed to the way of thinking that their personal creator, their favorite creator. It's just natural to subscribe to that way of thinking. Right now, if you're subscribing to anyone that has a way of thinking that is not aligned with justice and keeping things in a vacuum and gag orders, like, if that's not what you're about, then you're against justice. And that means if you're against, so what is the very thing that protects us all? Justice. Somebody does something to you, you got justice, and you're going to get a retribution, a reparation. You get all those things. All right. So if someone is trying to disrupt justice, a lot of people don't even know they are. But by coming on here and attacking the Wells or attacking anyone, you're taking away their civil justices, right? So what we know is that if we fight for justice first, a lot of people aren't going to like this. Justice is above summer. You have to go head on in the fight for justice, and then justice will take care of summer and all the other little babies, right? If you're fighting for summer, you're fighting a fight you cannot win. The more you fight for summer, the further all of this stuff gets pushed back, right? We have two people that essentially have had 99% of the things that they've said corroborated. Only two people. You want to know who they are? Don and Candace. A lot of you have discrepancies with things that they've maybe said, or things that you've misconstrued, or you know, judgments that you've arrived at, right? You do know that if they had anything going on, they'd be in jail, right? Like, so yeah, they do take a long time building cases. You're exactly right. But you guys have no idea how small, but you know how large the area is, but how small and tight knit the community is, right? If they were poking around trying to fuck with Don would be telling all of us, yeah, man, they're following me around and shit, and you know, they're not letting me do this and do that. Like, you know, we know in the Boswell case, TVI has a very stringent standard for being lied to. In the Boswell case, she lied. Megan Boswell, I guess, or whoever, somebody lied, and they got locked the fuck up. So, you know what I mean? It's really hard to hide a body, make the timeline work, keep the body hid for a long time, make statements all over the web, but keep them corroborated. No cadaver dogs found shit. No FBI found shit. No, nothing from 80 other agencies. Nothing. See, that is the thing, guys. That family is constricted by a timeline, right? In order to get a body far enough away from the wells, there'd be a void in the time gap. Okay, so right now we're working with what people are calling 40 minutes. Well, guess what? 40 minutes, you know, there's no way we know it's actually 40 minutes. You know, you lose 10 here, you lose 5 here, you stop, you don't account for this, you know, like, right? We don't know how long it took him to load his tools. Like, we know people put so much weight. Right. So what people will do, let me show you how this is like two mirrors pointed at each other. People will be online and they're fucking up the wells because Candace said, oh, it was like 2 minutes. Right. Meanwhile, they got their own kid. While they're watching Candace say 2 minutes, you got your own kid. But hey, mom, I need some cereal. But give me 2 minutes. 30 minutes later, the kid comes in. Mom, you said 2 minutes. You lose 30 minutes, but you think it was 2, right? So this is not like, we're talking about how they searched a 4,000 square foot, or 4,000 square foot, 4,000 square acre radius around the house. And I'm sure that's not all. They followed tips up all over, wherever. You know they have to, right? No matter how stupid they are, because every tip that comes in, you got to clear it, right? So how did they get the baby so far away from the house and still like 40-minute discrepancy is well within reason in one of these cases. It's when you see that 2 to 4 hour or 2 hours on, right? Like a lot of things happen in these cases that you know, you can't be the victim of something, anything, and then say, oh, I have a repressed memory. but be so adamant. I mean, you can be adamant, right? SA, say you got SA. You don't remember exactly what happened, but you know you did because you've repressed it. Well, is it so hard to imagine that in the heat of the moment, this man doesn't remember, they don't remember times exactly? Like, shit, I don't remember. Like I told you earlier in this segment, go look at my video from lunchtime yesterday. It was actually from earlier than this. That's a 4 or 5 hour difference. Does that mean that I've done something? No. What it means is that is that the stringence. Listen, we talked about neurodiversity, guys, right? Neurodiversity is that XYZ is a template to, let's say, for instance, XYZ is a template for how you interrogate or interview witnesses and suspects, right? So that template is built on a control base of typical thinkers. So as soon as you bring someone in that has autism, something on a spectrum, a disability that's a delay, you start having different issues with limited faculties, and then you apply typical procedural interrogation tactics on people who don't think typically, and immediately you got what? Fucked up science! That's what. I love all you guys individually. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. If you have intelligent commentary, leave it in the box below. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. Let's all fight for justice. And by proxy, justice will fight for Summer, right? It's like when the neighbor kid comes over and their parents are inside. If it starts hailing outside, are you going to leave the fucking neighbor kid standing out in the hail? No. You're going to bring the boy inside. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.